do have fun hopes and dreams, and I ask myself now, what does it all mean? But who do I say that I am? Parents, teachers, law enforcers, religious and community leaders, let me ask you, am I that energetic, inquisitive black youth whose actions may seem good or bad to different people? Am I a youngster with talent and potential who needs to know about personal power and guidance about personal responsibility? Recognizing the contradictions of safety for me, am I someone who needs to know how the justice system really works? Today, my friends, your interest in me and efforts for me will make me happy, because I know you want the best for me and you have my back. Who will I be? To my family, I always hope to be God-made and heaven-sent. For myself, I will be true to my ethnicity, whatever its identity, and I will know it to be an important building block for contributing American citizen I will become. I will believe the last part of America's Pledge of Allegiance, which states, with liberty and justice for all. And that this phrase includes me and others like me. In the future, I will have done my best to conquer the worlds of indifference and injustice for positive change. And I will remember that my power to persuade others toward real justice will have been kindled by your empowerment of me through cultural awareness. This is who I was, who I am, and who I will be. And now to welcome us, Reverend Dr. Shawnthea Monroe of Plymouth Church, who is also a moderator.
Yumi is awfully impressive. What a delight to have her open this program tonight. I'd like to say welcome to one and all to Plymouth Church, United Church of Christ here in Shaker Heights. My name is Shawnthea Monroe, and I'm a senior pastor here at Plymouth. And on behalf of all the members and friends of Plymouth, I wish you all a warm welcome this evening. Thank you for coming and spending your precious Friday night with us. It's lovely to have you here. It is indeed our privilege and our pleasure to host this event. I remember when my board asked if it was possible to bring this EYEJ program to Plymouth, my answer was an easy yes, of course. Plymouth was founded in 1916, and it was founded on land, built on land given to us by the Van Sweringen brothers. They were the developers and designers of Shaker Heights. And these brothers believed that every great community needed a place for the community to gather to worship. Plymouth Church was founded as a community church, and for almost 100 years, we have strived to live out this mission. Indeed, to be, as Isaiah said, a place of prayer for all people. This is a place indeed where people of every age and stage, every race and place in life come together to build relationships, to build bridges, to understand one another, and to work for the common good. As a pastor, I would say, as the body of Christ in this setting, I would say, as the wider community. This is the mission of Plymouth Church, and that's why we are so glad that you're here. Again, welcome one and all to Plymouth Church. We're so delighted to have you here. This is a wonderful opening conversation and a deeply meaningful event. Welcome to Plymouth. And now I'd like to invite Gloria Sturgill to come.
My name is Gloria Sturgill, and I'm co-chair of EYEJ along with Monroe and Ben Winger, who could not be here tonight. This all started with a conversation. After the Trayvon Martin incident in 2012, my board and Jim Antoine, a senior member of the congregation here, asked us to get together to have a talk. We wanted to do something, we just didn't know what we wanted to do. So after a couple of meetings like this, we decided that we could work with the youth of Cleveland, with the younger age group, and we decided to work with the 6th through 8th grade youth at Buckeye Woodland, because Plymouth had a 25-year relationship with the school. So brainstorming our name after that, we decided on empowering youth, exploring justice. That's where EYEJ came from, and that's our focus. After that, we worked on a plan to go into the schools 3 times a year, where we give a presentation. There are 2 speakers in each classroom. The classes are broken out by gender and by grade. And one African American, one non-African American. We designed a topic, and they all speak on the same topic. And it worked out really well at the school. We thought it would go on forever, but then Woodland closed last year. So we had to think of something else. So we worked out a relationship with Mounts Park Elementary and Anton Gardena Elementary Schools. Now we go to the schools once a month. We're reaching 300 or more 6th through 8th grade kids every month. They look forward to us coming in every month, and we're making really a big impact. And who knew from a little conversation what this would have become? We had no idea where we're growing, and we can't wait to see where it goes after this. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you very, very much for being here tonight. I truly appreciate it. I'm deeply grateful to co-chair Gloria Sturgill and also to co-chair Ben Wagner, and also Habiba, she has helped put this event together tonight, the EYEJ team, to Plymouth Church, to Reverend Dr. Shawnthea Monroe, and to Case Western Reserve University Social Justice Institute for partnering this evening. As Gloria mentioned, EYEJ, Empowering Youth Exploring Justice, which is a 501c3 nonprofit, serves a need for our youth who need the support, caring of, inspiration, and a fair chance of life. We believe that empowering these youth, focusing on ways to help increase their values and self-confidence with an overarching focus of social justice will help them. Through our impact with our discussion series and future programming, we've helped increase social score by 8% with the 6th to 8th graders. The kids come running after us asking for more, when are we coming back? Kids who normally don't speak in class, perhaps with disabilities, stand up and voice their comments and opinions when we go there. Speakers walk away with learnings, and there's many, many more positive examples. Currently, we serve over 300 students in the CMSD school district. As Gloria mentioned, we have had over 100 volunteer speakers, and EYEJ is just 2.5 years old, and it's been completely ran by 100% volunteers, which is pretty incredible. And now I'd like to introduce the incredibly knowledgeable speaker, one of the speakers tonight, and our partner organization for this evening, Dr. Rhonda, who is amazing, founder and director of the Case Western Reserve University Social Justice Institute. And thank you again.
These are the kinds of conversations bringing together scholars, bringing together activists, bringing together advocates, bringing together those who fight for social justice, who fight injustice, who fight inequality, who fight oppression, who are not afraid to talk about power and talk about privilege and talk about economic injustice, talk about differently able, talk about gender orientation, identity. Yes.
My name is Phyllis Harris. I'm the executive director of the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender Community Center of Greater Cleveland. It's a very long title, so we say the LGBT Center. But really, I am a nonprofit practitioner, and so I work for very many nonprofit organizations in Cleveland, probably the last 20 or 25 years, and we work typically organizations with socially charged missions, such as Cleveland Crisis Center. I work for education and advocacy there. I've worked for the Cleveland Site Center. I've worked for Big Brothers Big Sisters in Greater Cleveland. I've worked for the AIDS National in Greater Cleveland. I've worked for small arts organizations. So I love to get in Planned Parenthood, preterm. So I love to get in where I can do social justice type work, advocacy type work, with all what we're going to be hearing about tonight. And I'm a mom.
chair of the Alcohol Drug Addiction Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County. I've been the chair for 2 years. I'm also an administrator at Cleveland Metropolitan School District, where I coordinate all mental health services for school, and I'm the gatekeeper for programs and services that comes into the schools. I have been a clinician for over 30 years. I'm a mom, a grandma, 5 grandbabies, and I go to the historic Reformation Baptist Church.
How is it that we might be better advocates for others by better understanding them and their experiences through the particular lens of culture?
So the answer to the question is actually may help, but I'm going to be fluid and flexible today. And I actually want to invite my co-panelists to chime in on this first question, because I think it dovetails with a lot of what we do. If I can not take all 5 minutes. So how might we be better advocates for others by understanding them and their experiences through the lens of culture? I think one of the things that we have to talk about is history. I too am a historian. I'm a history professor. And I think it's extremely important if you're going to talk about culture, if you're going to talk about understanding someone's culture, whether you're talking about nurturing the soul, whether you're talking about the tools that we all have and deploy, whether you talk about praxis, the things that you do, whether it's about joy or whether it's about struggle, you have to understand and desire to understand someone's history. Let me give an example. At the Social Justice Institute, for one of our think tanks, that actually the very first think tank that we held, we had Bernice Johnson-Reagan. And we brought Bernice Johnson-Reagan to close out the entire conference that was on social justice, race, and profiling. Bernice Johnson-Reagan was an activist in the 1960s. She worked with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. She came from a particular background, a particular place. Her history and her knowledge came from particular forebears. She charged that with a particular task in terms of using her voice and her art and her culture, right? The ways in which she wanted to express that in terms of the public dissemination of that, to actually struggle, to actually engage in the contestation against racism and discrimination. That was grounded in a very fertile and unfortunately traumatic set of experiences that she and other African Americans were experiencing. So, the history, the long view, the understanding of that, the desire to go beyond what we perceive to be people's experiences because of what they look like, and at the same time not dismiss what they look like to think that we're all the same, you see, because you can have sameness and difference, and the problem with society is that difference is imbued with levels of inferiority and superiority and puts people in a hierarchy. And therefore, that becomes the problem. The difference itself is not the problem, right? And so that ties very much to this question of culture in terms of praxis, in terms of concrete tools, in terms of nurture. The other thing I want to say is that this is very much tied to a language of sharing. How do you develop a language of sharing? And through the actual space of performance as culture, one can touch the kinds of good and kind of intimate.
You know why? Because you have to tear down the wall, a wall, in order for her to get out, and in order for you to get out.
No kid is afraid of the detention center, probation, or a couple of months of community placement. And then all in caps it says, locked